you are a Christian, a real true Christian, or you are a conservative, Stephanie White said you are not welcome to watch this team any longer. I got to tell you, this is the worst look the Indiana Fever have had since Caitlin Clark arrived.
Stephanie White's story took a turn for the worse 2 minutes ago. The internet began to deliver receipts instead of arguments. Authentic receipts, hotel reservations, ticket confirmations, pictures of brand new Caitlin Clark jerseys, invoices for season tickets. Fans who made significant financial investments abruptly began sharing evidence that they were leaving. Every sports club hopes that kind of issue never comes up. The entire situation became a total mess. More quickly than anyone anticipated, the Fever were honoring 3 All-Stars one day. The following day, the discussion was completely unrelated to basketball. It concerned if the group had alienated those individuals who contributed to the team becoming one of the most sought-after sports tickets. This is where everything abruptly altered. This controversy was prompted by a transcript that many fans felt disregarded Christians and conservatives as team supporters. Whether or not people agreed with those statements nearly became secondary. The response became the true narrative.
I did a video on the Matrix and Rose show yesterday. That boycott, that game had 1 million less views, 1 million less viewers than the very last CBS game before it. The game that people said, oh, well, I don't think fans are really going to tune out. Yeah, compared to the previous game, 980,000 fans decided not to watch. A boycott can be done.
Fans weren't merely grumbling, they began recording the precise amount of money and effort they had put into adhering to the Fever. Some uploaded hotel reservations from road trips to Indianapolis, while others displayed piles of game tickets. Some posted photos of themselves sporting Fever apparel that they had gleefully purchased just a few weeks prior. That altered the topic of discussion entirely. Social media was no longer filled with haphazard remarks. Everyone wanted to see that they were real clients, attempting to demonstrate that they had backed this team long before this controversy blew up. Then something much more bizarre occurred. Rather than diffusing the issue, the Fever's social media accounts plenty of requests to terminate Stephanie White. Almost all posts honoring Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, or Kelsey Mitchell became yet another argument about the coach rather than the players. A party soon turned into a diversion.
Business, the Indiana Fever, and your coach gave the middle finger to millions of new viewers and fans and merchandise buyers, etc., etc. And here's my issue. A lot of people will say, well, trade her out of Indianapolis. It's going to be this way with every damn team in this league. It's the league.
During one of the most important times of the season, that is never what a team wants. The invoices continued to arrive. There seemed to be another fan sharing evidence that this wasn't a phony online outcry every hour. Because of Caitlin Clark, these individuals had actually spent money. They paid for hotels, purchased jerseys. Before games, they packed restaurants. They brought buddies who had never seen a WNBA game. All of a sudden, the same fans declared that they were finished. It became even more difficult to disregard the problem after what transpired. Television numbers soon took center stage. A different fan boycott earlier this season was connected to. According to reports, another WNBA scandal caused a significant decline in viewership when compared to the prior national broadcast. It is impossible to determine whether the boycott prevented every absent viewer from attending. However, a lot of fans used such ratings as proof that not watching may have a quantifiable impact. That notion quickly gained traction. People started using the language that professional sports owners actually comprehend is money. Not irate remarks. Not popular hashtags. Cash. All canceled tickets. Every TV show that was missed. All of the jerseys are still on store shelves. Fans thought their voices would finally be heard there. But all of a sudden, there was another query. The Fever organization was where? The group kept sharing highlights, videos and stunning visuals honoring Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and Caitlin Clark.
Watch. But yeah, right there, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell have all made the team as all-stars right here. Let's see this little video that the Fever put up.
Caitlin Clark, Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, This is how you bring the roof down.
All sidestep Clark. Clark with the ball on the string.
The globetrotter of another stratosphere.
However, the comments appeared entirely different under nearly every post, rather than honoring the players. Why no one from the organization was addressing the topic was a question that many supporters continued asking, that quiet was incorporated into the narrative itself. Organizations in sports typically attempt to address a PR issue before it becomes more serious. Many supporters believed that the reverse was taking on here. Without an answer, there was another wave of conjecture every hour. And annoyance. Then another awkward point emerged. Many supporters said that Caitlin Clark contributed to turning the Fever into one of the most popular sports events in the United States. Attendance increased. The franchise's exposure on national television skyrocketed, and merchandise sales hit previously unheard of heights. Earlier. As a result, a lot of fans wondered why the company seemed willing to take the chance of upsetting the audience. That fueled that expansion. The discussion then expanded to include more than just one coach. People ceased inquiring as to whether Stephanie White had aired. They began to question whether the Fever actually comprehended how. Over the last year, their fan base has seen a significant transformation. That query might ultimately have a lot more weight than the first one. Debate in and of itself, the narrative had progressed well beyond a single news conference by this time. Supporters were no longer discussing only one remark. They wanted to know if the Fever had a leadership issue that had been developing for several months. The pressure really began to grow at that point. Numerous fans cited various instances from the season. When Caitlin Clark became the focal point of physical games or took heavy fouls, they said that the company never vigorously supported its brightest celebrity in public.
For the day Cece is playing somewhere else. Only Stephanie White could turn a team with 3 All-Stars into a 7th seed. Fire that pathetic coach Stephanie White. How the F is she still defending Alyssa Thomas? Wow. Don't promote our girl, Cece, if she's not going to get to play. In other words, protect her better. Fire Stephanie White. Man, I can't wait to see what this looks like in another 12 hours. In another 12 hours, because it is going to be ugly. Ugly.
Whether or not someone agreed with the criticism, perception took of equal significance to reality. Perception is the foundation of professional sports. If supporters feel that their preferred player is not receiving enough protection, frustration escalates rapidly. These past grievances were now blending with the most recent scandal, causing an enormous headache for the company. Soon, another aspect of the narrative became apparent. One of the most significant weeks in the franchise's history should have been enjoyed by the Fever. 3 athletes were named All-Stars. Honors. The level of national attention continued to soar. More coverage of Caitlin Clark was desired by all television networks because audiences continued to turn up. Rather, the headlines moved to another location. The basketball nearly vanished. For any company looking to get traction, that is a nightmare. Talking about controversy every day is just another day when the players who truly win games are not being promoted. Next, a more significant business query emerged. Since Caitlin Clark joined the league, the WNBA has grown significantly. Ratings on television increased. Networks committed billions through new media agreements, arenas filled, and items moved more quickly than before because they thought there was a new level of interest in women's basketball. This means that every public dispute are more important. Maintaining the connection with new supporters becomes crucial when a league is growing so rapidly. Pushing away even a small portion of those admirers, according to many supporters, causes needless risk.
A massacre. After what Stephanie White said yesterday, it is ugly. And you know what? Stephanie White has allowed her own social and political beliefs to officially interfere with her professional job. I have a vote of no confidence. It's over. It's over. And it's going to be interesting to see how fans react. Are fans going to tune out of these games? Keep in mind, they told a massive portion of the new fan base, you're not welcome to watch.
Future attendance and ratings will determine whether that worry holds true over time. However, the conversation itself demonstrates how much the league has evolved in just a single year. Then, nobody asked the question. The Fever sought to respond from within. Was this just a regrettable controversy that will go away? Following a few news cycles? Or had the company misjudged the fervor, commitment, and power of this new fan base? Had developed into a more than any single game on the schedule? That question might influence the next chapter of the Fever. The most important question of all now confronted the Fever. If these receipts result in actual business losses, what will happen? No one in the organization can afford to overlook that. Suddenly, something else became impossible to ignore. Fan interactions are the foundation of professional sports. Each ticket that is sold, every shirt bought, every TV show watched, and every contract signing sponsor want an expanding audience above all else. The audience contributed to the Fever becoming one of the largest sports-related tales. Many of those same supporters are now candidly questioning whether they should continue to back the squad. For any franchise, that is a risky conversation. Sponsors take public opinion into consideration. Ratings are monitored by television partners. Executives on the team keep an eye on attendance. When momentum begins, owners notice heading in the incorrect direction. Every professional league is aware of those facts. However, the greatest surprise was from a very other location. This dispute ought to have been hidden beneath basketball achievement. Rather, it totally eclipsed it. 3 players with Fever were named All-Stars. The team was still shown during prime viewing times on national television. Caitlin Clark continued to be one of the main draws in American sports. However, none of those achievements made headlines. The dispute did. That alone demonstrates how rapidly public perception can change. Months can be erased by one challenging week of favorable momentum. The games themselves may be overshadowed by a single PR issue.
Yeah, Christine Brennan yesterday on the Dan Dockett show, a really good interview by Dan Dockett. I'm going to keep it real. A really good interview with Christine Brennan, and she said she believes this is the definitive picture of the NBA, the WNBA right now. Really talk about tone deaf. The problem you have with the online community is because you haven't done anything about the situation. For F's sakes. Need to fire your shit coach. Middle finger.
Then the last piece came together. The message that fans were expressing by sharing receipts went well beyond social media. They wanted the organization to know that assistance should never be taken for granted. Caitlin Clark introduced women's basketball to many of these people. They made investments, their weekends and focus on making the Fever one of the league's greatest achievements. They are currently awaiting the next development. Whether the company reacts or doesn't say anything, there will be significantly more information revealed over the next few weeks than at any news conference. Already, one thing is evident. Stephanie White is no longer the only character in this tale. It has to do with trust. It has to do with leadership.